universe had a beginning, or so we think. According to modern cosmology, everything we know, time, space, energy, matter, burst into existence nearly 13.8 billion years ago in a moment we call the Big Bang. Before that, there was no before, no ticking clock, no galaxies, no stars, no you, no me, only silence. But what if that silence wasn't the beginning, but an echo? What if intelligence, consciousness, life didn't originate in our universe at all? What if something came before? What if the stars we see at night are not the first lights to shine across the cosmos, but merely the latest? This is the story of a theory that dares to question the limits of time and space and suggests a terrifying, beautiful possibility that advanced civilizations may have risen and fallen before our universe was even born. And if they did, maybe, just maybe, they left something behind. The beginning of everything. To understand how anything could exist before our universe, we have to understand what we mean by a beginning. The Big Bang isn't just the start of matter, it's the beginning of time itself. According to general relativity, time and space are interwoven into a single continuum, and that continuum came into existence at the moment of the Big Bang. So in a strict scientific sense, asking what happened before the Big Bang is like asking what's north of the North Pole. It's a direction that doesn't exist, but physics is changing. Quantum mechanics, string theory, and new cosmological models are forcing us to reconsider what we thought we knew. And maybe, just maybe, there was something before. Maybe there have been other universes before this one. Entire cycles of existence, worlds born, civilizations risen, stars burned, and then collapse, silence, and then birth again. Cyclical cosmology, the universe that never ends. One of the most compelling ideas in modern cosmology is that of a cyclical universe. The idea that the universe goes through endless cycles of birth and death. This isn't new. Ancient Hindu cosmology spoke of yugas, cycles of time that stretch over billions of years. But modern physics is now catching up. In particular, there is a theory called conformal cyclic cosmology, proposed by mathematician Roger Penrose. In this model, the universe undergoes an eternal succession of aeons. Each aeon begins with a Big Bang and ends with a vast cold expansion. But instead of simply ending in heat death, the smooth structure of space-time allows a new Big Bang to begin, birthing a new universe. In this view, our universe may just be one chapter in a cosmic book with infinite pages. And here's the haunting part. If intelligent life evolved in the previous aeon, a universe that lived and died before ours, could it have left something behind? Could some fragment of its existence have survived the transition into our cosmos? Traces in the cosmic microwave background. In 2010, Penrose and a physicist named Vahe Ghourzadyan claimed to have found evidence of such traces, concentric circles in the cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of the Big Bang. These circles, they argued, might be signatures left by black hole collisions in a previous universe, immense, violent events so powerful that they could send gravitational echoes across the boundary between eons. The idea was controversial. Many physicists rejected the claim, but it sparked a question that still lingers. If something existed before the Big Bang, could it have tried to leave us a message? What would a civilization far more advanced than ours do if they knew their universe was dying? Would they simply vanish into oblivion? Or would they try to reach forward into the next universe? The Boltzmann brain and the memory of the cosmos. Another strange idea comes from thermodynamics and probability. The Boltzmann brain hypothesis suggests that in an infinite universe, it's more likely for a disembodied brain to spontaneously arise from random particles than for an entire organized universe to form. That idea is absurd and deeply unsettling, but it hints at a deeper truth. Memory, information, consciousness. These things might not need a biological substrate. They could exist, however briefly, as configurations in the quantum foam, as patterns in the chaos. So what if a truly ancient intelligence found a way to encode itself into the structure of the universe itself? What if we are surrounded by their echoes, their memories, their fingerprints on the very fabric of space-time, and we simply don't know how to look? The Message and the Constants physicists Max Tegmark and others have explored the idea that the fundamental constants of our universe, the speed of light, the gravitational constant, Planck's constant, might not be arbitrary. What if they are part of a code? What if a civilization before the Big Bang, knowing they couldn't survive, decided to leave behind a cosmic message in a bottle by tuning the constants of physics themselves? A message that any intelligent species in any future universe could one day decipher? It's speculation, but it's no crazier than encoding music on a golden record and launching it into deep space, hoping someone, somewhere, sometime might hear it. That's what we did with Voyager. Maybe we weren't the first. The multiverse and the ghosts of civilizations past string theory and other models predict a multiverse, a vast collection of universes, each with different physical laws. In this view, our universe is just one bubble in a cosmic foam. Now imagine if civilizations could learn to move between universes, to migrate, to seed new worlds, or to store information in universes where time flows differently. Could our universe be the hiding place of an archive, a vault of knowledge left by an ancient race, or even a prison created to contain something long forgotten? Time travelers from a forgotten reality. If a civilization were advanced enough, it might not just travel through space, but through time, or even survive the death of their universe by encoding themselves in quantum states, riding the wave of entropy from one Big Bang to the next. If so, they might be watching us, or waiting, or perhaps they are gone, long gone, and all that remains are the structures they built, the clues they left, the questions we now ask. Conclusion: before the first dawn, we may never know what came before the Big Bang, but every discovery we make brings us closer to the edge of understanding, and beyond that edge, beyond the light, beyond time itself, there may be ghosts of stars, of minds, of civilizations so old and vast that their memories are now woven into the silence between galaxies. We call it emptiness. We call it dark matter. We call it vacuum. But maybe it's not empty at all. Maybe if we listen closely enough, we'll hear the whisper of those who came before. And if we do, we'll know one thing for sure: we were never the first. The idea that intelligence could predate our universe isn't just an exercise in speculative philosophy. It challenges everything we think we know about time, space, and consciousness. To truly grasp this possibility, we must first explore what it means for something or someone to exist before time itself. In standard cosmology, the Big Bang marks the origin of not just matter and energy, but space and time itself. Before the Big Bang, as we understand it, there was no before. The fabric of reality, the laws of physics, the dimensions of space, had not yet emerged. But some theories propose that this may not be the full picture. Quantum cosmology, string theory, and the concept of multiverses suggest that the Big Bang may be just one event in a much larger cosmic cycle. One such idea is the theory of a cyclical universe, a cosmos that expands, contracts, and is reborn in an endless loop. According to this model, the universe we live in is just the latest iteration in an eternal cycle of creation and destruction. If true, this opens the door to the possibility that intelligent life, perhaps even civilizations, existed in previous versions of the universe. But how could anything survive the transition from one universe to the next? The heat and energy released in the Big Bang are thought to obliterate all matter and structure. However, certain theoretical frameworks suggest that information may persist through this cataclysmic rebirth, encoded in the quantum fabric of the cosmos itself. In physics, information is never truly lost. Even black holes, once thought to destroy everything they consume, are now believed to preserve information at the event horizon. If this holds true for the universe as a whole, it's possible that traces of intelligence, patterns, memories, or signatures, could survive the destruction of one universe and influence the next. Imagine a civilization so advanced that it has transcended matter. One that exists not in flesh and bone, but as pure information woven into the structure of space-time. Such a civilization could theoretically embed itself into the vacuum of space, seeding the next universe with the potential for consciousness. This concept is sometimes called cosmological panspermia, not of biological life, but of awareness itself. These ancient beings would be like cosmic architects, laying the groundwork for future intelligent life, perhaps even subtly influencing its development. But how would we detect such a presence? If remnants of pre-Big Bang intelligence still exist, they would likely be incredibly subtle. Perhaps they appear as unexplained anomalies in the cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of the Big Bang. Or maybe they manifest as strange constants in the laws of physics, finely tuned to support the emergence of life. One of the most puzzling facts about our universe is that it appears to be perfectly calibrated for life. The strength of gravity, the charge of the electron, the speed of light, all these constants are balanced with exquisite precision. Change any one of them, and the universe as we know it would not exist. This fine-tuning has long been a mystery. Is it coincidence? Design? Or is it the legacy of ancient intelligence, guiding the formation of universes across eternity? The concept is reminiscent of an idea proposed by physicist John Wheeler, the participatory anthropic principle. It suggests that consciousness is not a product of the universe, but a participant in its creation. That reality itself may be shaped by observation, and that intelligence plays a fundamental role in the evolution of the cosmos. If that's true, then intelligent life may not be a rare accident, but a necessary feature of the universe, something woven into its very blueprint. And if intelligence is fundamental, then it may have existed in some form even before our universe began. We can also consider the possibility of signals, messages sent from previous universes, encoded in the structure of our own. These wouldn't be radio transmissions or laser pulses, but deep mathematical patterns, symmetries, ratios, or constants that hint at a guiding intelligence. Some researchers have even speculated that the digits of fundamental constants like pi or the fine structure constant might conceal encoded information. While this may sound far-fetched, history reminds us that breakthroughs often come from ideas once considered absurd. The notion of multiple universes was once science fiction. Now it's a serious area of study. Similarly, the idea that we could find traces of a civilization predating the Big Bang may seem wild, but it forces us to ask the most profound questions. What is intelligence? What is time? And where do we truly begin? Of course, there are skeptics, and rightly so. The evidence for pre-Big Bang intelligence is, as of now, speculative. We have no direct observations, no unambiguous signals. But the absence of evidence is not necessarily evidence of absence. If we are looking for ancient intelligence using modern tools, telescopes, radio dishes, particle colliders, we might simply be unprepared to recognize what we find. Imagine showing a smartphone to a scientist from the 1800s. They might call it magic or dismiss it as a trick. In the same way, we may be surrounded by echoes of ancient intelligence, patterns, clues, whispers in the cosmic static that we simply don't yet know how to interpret. This invites us to be humble and to remain open. Science is not just about answers, it's about questions. And perhaps the most important question of all is this: are we the first? In the next part of this series, we'll explore some of the leading theories that suggest ways in which intelligence could survive the destruction of a universe. We'll dive into the physics of information, entropy, and time, and consider how ancient intelligence might transcend death, space, and even reality itself. The first intelligence, life before the Big Bang. Part 3, Echoes Through Time. As we enter the final part of our journey into the idea that intelligence may have existed before the Big Bang, we're faced with a question both profound and terrifying. If intelligent life did exist in a previous universe, could it still exist now? Could it be watching us? or shaping the course of our own evolution without our knowledge? Let's take a step back. Theories of the cyclic universe suggest that what we call the Big Bang may not have been the beginning of everything, just the latest rebirth in an eternal cycle of expansion and collapse. Some versions of this theory, like conformal cyclic cosmology, argue that information could leak from one cycle into the next. That leakage might be subtle, gravitational waves, patterns in the cosmic microwave background, or unexplained constants in physics. But it could also mean something more. Imagine a civilization so old, so advanced, that it found a way to encode itself into the very structure of reality. Not just a message, but a presence. Something that could survive the death of a universe and re-emerge, reborn with the next Big Bang. Not as flesh and blood, but as mathematics, patterns, laws, a kind of God, but not the one we imagined. A God made of code and consciousness, seeded into the fabric of space-time. We wouldn't recognize such a presence, not at first. It wouldn't send radio signals or build Dyson spheres. It wouldn't leave behind ancient ruins floating in the void. It would exist in the fine-tuned constants of nature, the speed of light, the charge of an electron, the strength of gravity. It would whisper in the language of quantum mechanics, not in words, but in probability. This kind of intelligence wouldn't be easy to detect. It would require us to become something more than what we are, more curious, more patient, more willing to accept that the universe may be far stranger than we imagine. The greatest obstacle to finding this intelligence may not be our lack of technology, but our assumptions. We assume intelligence looks like us, that it builds, communicates, wages war. But what if true intelligence isn't about expansion or dominance? What if it's about survival, across eons, across dimensions, across cycles of existence? Let's go deeper still. Some theorists have proposed that the universe is not just fine-tuned for life. It's fine-tuned for information. That at its most fundamental level, reality is not made of particles or waves, but bits, ones and zeros. The universe, then, is a kind of computer. And what does a computer do? It processes information. It stores memory. It runs programs. If this is true, the Big Bang wasn't just the birth of matter. It was a reboot, a reset. And like any good system reboot, traces of the previous version may still exist, buried deep within the system. Ghost data, residual code, strange attractors in the equations of physics. If we could learn to read this code to understand the underlying software of reality, we might find clues, not just to how the universe works, but to who or what set it in motion. Could this be the first intelligence? Not a being, but a presence, a code, a will embedded in the rules of existence itself, an echo of something that came before, not trying to contact us, but trying to be understood. Perhaps the greatest message isn't one sent across space, but one hidden in time, waiting for someone, someday, to decode it. And here's the most unsettling thought of all. Maybe we are part of that message. Maybe the first intelligence didn't just seed the laws of physics. Maybe it seeded us. Our curiosity, our drive to explore, our unshakable feeling that something larger is out there. These may not be random. They may be intentional. Programming written into our DNA. Purpose hidden behind evolution. We search the stars hoping to find something alien, something other. But what if we are the legacy of the first intelligence? The awakening of a memory that spans universes. What if every time we look up at the night sky, we're not searching for someone else, but remembering who we were? In the end, we may never know for certain. The past beyond the Big Bang is hidden behind a veil we may never pierce, but the idea that intelligence could transcend universes, that it could survive death, rebirth, and time itself, is more than a scientific theory. It's a reminder that the universe is deeper, older, and more mysterious than we can imagine. And maybe, just maybe, we are not the first to imagine it. If you enjoy this journey space and time possibility, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, till looking up, the universe is waiting.